Hi, I'm Brenda Henderson, and this is Petals from the Basket, where we share tools and resources for everyday Christian living. In the past, my husband Joe and I have shared some devotional thoughts with you, but we're going to take a little diversion from that path and just get down to the tools and resources for the everyday part of our Christian living. As far as what do you do around the house? How do you do things? What are some ideas or thoughts that we use from our home that may be helpful in yours? And I hope I can learn some facts and some hacks from you as well. One of the things that I'm a little bit ashamed to admit is that even though I just turned 60 in January, I had never before done meal planning for the week. I plan when we have guests. I know what we're going to have, and so I go to the store and I purchase those particular items. But as far as just the two of us being here at home, I would find myself too often around 4 o'clock saying, oh yeah, I wanted to have chicken, but I forgot to take it out of the freezer. Or I don't know what I want to do with the chicken. Or we have a lot of ground beef in the freezer, but I don't know what I want to make with it. We had tortillas last night and tortillas the night before that and chips and salsa the night before that. So what am I going to make? And I wouldn't plan ahead. And then very often, to be honest with you, what would happen is we'd say, well, let's go over to our favorite restaurant and get some shrimp or get some fish or get a salad or whatever. Well, that's just silly. We don't need to do that. And so one of the things I want to share with you this week is what we do in the way of meal planning. Joe's daughter and her husband, my stepdaughter and our son-in-law, have really been a good example to me on meal planning. They do this on, I believe, Saturdays as well. But when I began thinking about doing it, I needed to write something down. They're very technologically savvy, and so they do it on their phones and have that linked together with each other, and they can add things throughout the week. I need paper and a pencil or a pen. And so I looked up some things online and found a lovely woman named Erin who has a website titled Simple Purposeful Living. SimplePurposefulLiving.com is her website. Joe and I actually chose the word purpose for our word of the year in 2021. And so it was just kind of popping out to me that she used the word purposeful living in her title. One of the things that she's known for is meal planning, and she actually has a meal planner. I am not on commission. I am not getting a free copy. She doesn't even know me from Adam's cat, nor I her. But Simple Purposeful Living Meal Planner is so simple that at first I thought, I can't believe I just paid money to get a book with lines on it. And then I'm now in the first full week of February and I haven't stopped using it. It's been so helpful to me. So I hope that it would be helpful to you as well. I want to show you just a couple things. First of all, I write down what I think we're going to have for that week. I go into my kitchen, I look in the freezer, I look in the cupboard, I see what I have available, but then I can also make a shopping list on the other side. This is perforated so I can tear it off. As you can tell, I've done that on the other weeks. And then I either take that to the grocery store with me, or right now we do a lot of online ordering and pickup orders. And so I can just put those in online. And I was going to say call them in, but I don't call them in. Put them in online and go pick them up. And they're all ready for me. But I write out breakfast and supper. Lunch, we do a lot of leftovers or just small things. Being retired, we have a different schedule than a lot of people. And so kind of whatever that calls for that day and what we have on hand and what we're hungry for or not hungry for is what we have. So that's what we do for lunches. But I want to have suppers planned. That's the meal when I tended to have the most, I tended to lack the ability to come up with something fresh and exciting and new and take the time to do it. So this simple one is simply just listed day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And what I love about that is if you're a person who starts your week on Wednesday because that's when the new sales come out at your grocery store, you can start day one on Thursday or on Wednesday, whichever day you want to do, and you can make out your week of meal planning that way. It's been so helpful to me. In the morning, I look. Tonight, we are having, it's Thursday night here, and I'm posting this on Friday, but on Thursday night, we're having spaghetti and meatballs and applesauce. And so I've already got the meatballs out of the freezer. I've got the spaghetti sitting in the area where I'm going to cook that. And I have some applesauce that I cheated and bought at the store. And so we're going to have that for dinner this evening. And I already know my meal is already planned for the evening, and it makes my life so much easier. So I would encourage you, again, I know it sounds silly to pay money for something that basically has lines on it and has the day divided, but I love that this is perforated. I'm trying to tear it as I'm looking at you, but it's perforated so I can just tear that off, take it with me when I go to put in my online order or when I go to the store. So I think you'll love it. Simple purposeful living.com. You can also find her on Instagram, Simple Purposeful Living, and I believe she's also on Facebook. So make sure that you check this out. It's great. Again, I have no connection to her whatsoever. It's a product I love. I have come to use it without fail. It sits on my kitchen counter. I actually open it to the current week and sit it on my kitchen counter. I've got a little easel that I set it on. And so I wake up in the morning, I look at what we're having that night, and it just makes it simple and has a purpose to it. I want to share one quick hack with you, okay? When we do this grocery shopping and it all comes in for the week, one of the things that I found was frustrating for me personally, it may not be for you, but was to wake up in the morning and have to slice the grapefruit or cut in the grapefruit or cut the oranges or peel things or have to wash the carrots or the grapes or whatever we're going to have that day. So one of the things that I did one day, just because it was handy, was I put some grapefruit in a jar for Joe. Joe likes grapefruit, so I labeled it on the top with the word grapefruit. And this small size fits into my fruit drawer, the crisper that I use for fruit. So I've got fresh apples in there, and I do have some other oranges and grapefruit in case I want to slice those for display and garnish purposes. But I cut it up and I put it in this jar. I'm going to tell you a secret on this. I also do this with grapes, okay? So I have red grapes and black grapes in my refrigerator right now. The red grapes and black grapes, I wash them when I get home. Now people go, oh, I don't have time for that. Really? Do you have time to wash them before you eat them? You probably don't, so they don't get eaten as quickly or as easily. So if you make it readily accessible, that's what you're going to snack on. But again, we're just putting this into practice. After all these years, we're finally putting it into practice. So I want to share it with you. I threw them into this jar. I lay them out. I wash them. I lay them out on a like a dish towel, or you can use paper towel or whatever you want to use. But I lay them out to dry. So once the grapes are dry, I just toss them into these jars. For a big bag of grapes, I get 2 to maybe 3 jars of grapes ready to eat. So this is probably about a half of a big bag of grapes, which if it were filled all the way to the top. But I will tell you, now I'm not promising you anything. I'm not a safety expert. I'm not a food expert. So please use your own discretion and eat wisely. Don't eat something that's rotten or that's slimy. But if you let them dry, okay, and then put them in the jar, you will be able to keep them. I have been able, that's how I'm going to say it. I have been able to keep them for 3 to 4 weeks and still have them be good. Now, after 4 weeks, I had one that was like, ooh, I think that's kind of fermenting. But just regular grapes. You know how they go bad so quickly in the fridge. And so this has been a wonderful thing. It's a money saver. It's there on hand whenever we want them. And it's something I wanted to share with you today. Now, I keep a label maker in my kitchen. It's not cheap to run labels all the time, but it's cheaper than throwing away food all the time. So if I can see what's right there, I can grab it and we can eat these. and it works really great. I mentioned carrots. I do this with carrots. I do it with summer sausage. I do it with cubes of cheese. And it's just so handy. They're washed, ready to go, and all I have to do is just open the jar and we enjoy them. So I hope that's something that will help you. That along with using the meal planner from Simple Purposeful Living. I have an entire blog post about this today and about why we feel it's important to be good stewards of our money, our resources, our time, our efforts, and how this has been a real help to us in kind of overcoming some of the discouragements from the past year, and the way that we can keep moving forward, learning new things, doing new things, and sharing those with you, and seeing what God is going to do in 2021 as we steward our time and our talents and our resources on purpose, with purpose, and for a purpose. Have a great day. I'll see you over on the blog, pedalsfromthebasket.com, Instagram, Basket Pedals, or Facebook page, Pedals from the Basket. Have a great day.